So, we forgot to turn the microphone on for the last take, so I'm doing it again. My boyfriend apologizes. Okay. So you probably, if you're subscribed to my channel, you probably don't remember who I am, because the last time you saw me was probably like 2 years ago. So, update / another self-summary with, there's not really a rainbow here. Yeah. I can make a rainbow. I have rainbow pens, but they're not with me right now. They're out of the frame, and I don't feel like diving to get them. So, update / self-summary. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at this little clipboard of things that I made that I need to talk about because I haven't made a video in a while. And it's on my circuit board clipboard because I am a cool person. Oh, my sticky note fell off again. Okay, so my name's Quinn. If you've seen my last, 2 videos, it said my name was Amanda. I changed it. Quinn is a gender-neutral name, and I identify as gender fluid. Gender fluid is a non-binary identity, but pretty much, since Quinn is a gender-neutral name, that's what I changed it to, and that's what I prefer to be referred to as. So just kind of quick summary about me. I'm an upcoming senior. That's nerve-wracking. I've done 4 years of robotics, 3 of them in high school. That's kind of obvious. And I've done 3 types of robotics, BEST, FIRST, and VEX. And I also participate in Technology Student Association. In terms of accomplishments or competitions I've gone to, feel free to shoot me an email, YouTube message, etc. That's all going to be down in the comments. And if you've seen any of my old videos, I'm still really excited about pointing down here because it's really cool. So yeah, check down there. Okay, so this isn't part of my self-summary, but you should just know I do all of these videos in one take, and usually it's either the first or the second time I'm saying this stuff. So you get to see all of my little mess-ups, and I keep them in there because I think that that shows my personality and stuff, and also, I don't know. I just think it's really cool that I do them all in one take without practicing. So if I mess up, that's why. Okay, continuing with my little self-summary. In terms of robotics, I've been in leadership positions, quote unquote, for about a year, the majority of my junior year, and I'm going to be the vice president of my engineering chapter or Technology Student Association for my upcoming senior year, which I think is pretty cool. It's kind of nerve-wracking because now people are like, oh, it's Quinn, she's the vice president, instead of, oh yeah, it's Quinn, she's my friend. It's like, I have this official title thing. People are coming up to me and asking me questions. I don't know the answer to these questions. What do I do? I don't know. But I still get to train freshmen, which is really fun. I love new kids in robotics, which is one of the reasons I make these videos. I really like trying to help people out through the robotics process, especially because my robotics process, I didn't really have a mentor until I was, pretty much established in robotics. Or at least knew I wanted to stay, and I really want to convince people that robotics is definitely a place for them. Okay, continuing on the self-summary that's taking 5 minutes. I've gone to a program called Duke Tip for 4 years. For 2 of those years I did math or science. My 3rd year I did cryptography, which is code breaking and code making, which is really interesting. And then I did robotics my 4th year, which was phenomenal. And I have that all on this dog tag here. And then this past summer, I went to the Governor's Honors Program in my state for technology, which was really, really eye-opening and just a phenomenal experience altogether. As GHPers say, it changed my life. But that was really cool too. I'll actually get to talk about that and my experience later in this video, but that will have to wait. What else did I not hit on my little update self-summary thing? Oh, okay, so we're on to the next topic. So, the robotics season is coming up for most of us. VEX has been going on for a few months. BEST is going to start soon, and FIRST is going to start in January. So, I'm going to begin with a really general topic. Winning. See, this is where the sticky note came from, so I'm going to put the exclamation point back on because it's really important. This has fallen off 5 times. Winning. It's colorful. That means it's important. Okay, So while I was at GHP, I made a really good friend who I had met at the VEC State competition, and him and I have been exchanging letters. Or more like he sent me a letter and I wrote a letter back, but I haven't mailed it yet because I'm bad at things. It will probably include a link to this video with the apology of, I'm sorry I didn't send your letter sooner, Martin. Okay, but my friend at GHP asked me a question about winning. He was talking about his team and just what he was doing as a senior and as one of the upcoming leaders in VEX, and how a lot of his team really didn't want to get super duper involved, but still wanted to. They had made a very simple robot as opposed to challenging themselves, and he really wanted to do well. And what he said was, "I'm sorry for being so concerned about winning, but I really just want to be up there holding the trophy with you and your team. Do you really have to defy yourself and your teammates to win?" Now everybody wants to win. If you say you don't want to win, you are lying, and this is my judgment face for you who say you don't want to win. Because I'm sorry, everyone wants to win. Now, I'm going to completely contradict that and say how I don't want to win by everybody's standards. So, I'm going to just judge myself here right now. Gosh, Quinn. What a hypocrite. What are we going to do with you? Probably put videos about you on the internet so that you can laugh at yourself in 20 years. That's what we're going to do with you. Okay. So, winning. Like I said, everybody wants to win. But the thing is, winning doesn't mean the same thing to everybody. To most people, winning means walking up on stage and holding a trophy that looks kind of like this one that I have just up here randomly. Something like this, something shiny and pretty that says, "Look at me! I did a thing! And I did well at the thing! I got a shiny thing to prove that I did well at the other thing! Yay me!" And then you do what I do and you leave it at your boyfriend's house. Now, that idea of winning is what we usually associate, is receiving a trophy or getting first place, second place, etc., and then that's winning, getting that trophy. I would argue that getting a trophy does not necessarily mean you are winning, and you don't necessarily have to get a trophy in order to win. When I went to Governor's Honors Program, there was no trophies, no places, no grades. It was just do what you want and enjoy it. But we did have a final project. And because of personal reasons and because Code doesn't like me, but Code doesn't really like anybody yet, so I've heard. So I'm not really concerned that Code doesn't like me. We have an on and off relationship. I'm trying to make jokes. I don't think I'm doing very well at them, but people keep saying I'm cute, so I'll continue. Anyway, there was no winning. There was no places. It was just enjoy yourself. Here's electronics, here's circuit boards, here's this, here's that. Now go, just go enjoy yourself. And it was eye-opening. It was phenomenal. It was great to just be able to sit in the workshop and do what I wanted and not worry about, wait a minute, am I going to have to compete with this? Am I going to have to present this? Am I getting a grade? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? It was just make something because you want to. And for some people, it's just this phenomenal concept. Wait a minute, I can do something that's not for a grade, that's not for a competition, for myself. And that was what I went through. It was like, wait a minute, I can do something that I want to do just because I want to do it. I don't need a reason to do it. And that was phenomenal for me. Like I was saying, my final project wasn't ready on the presentation day. And I was kind of stressed about that because I was so used to presentations and presentations and presentations. And I realized something very important that I've quoted to like 400 different people. Projects, any type of project, robots, code, anything. Projects are not for presentations. I do not create things to show them off to people. I do not create things to win a trophy. I create things for me, and I create things for people, and I create things because I want to. And I love creating things, and I love building things. That's something I didn't get to realize that I loved it just because until Governor's Honors. When I came back from GHP, I didn't want to do competitive robotics. I changed my mind like 2 seconds after I walked into the shop because competitive robotics is fun. But the point is, I realized that winning does not mean first place. Because my project didn't work on presentation day, and I still won. There were people who had their project done 2 or 3 days before, and they still won. There were people who had their project done 2 minutes before, and they still won. Everybody won, and that also sounds cliche. But that's because none of us defined winning as a first place trophy. A lot of people say that winning isn't everything. For the record, as most of you know, that's usually said by teachers after you don't win something. So, kind of a statement that brings back some memories. I would argue that winning is everything. I just don't define winning as getting a first place trophy. My definition of winning, and for the record, it took me a 4-week camp to figure this out. So it's okay if you don't know this. I'm going to try to tell you so you don't need a 4-week camp to figure this out. Oh, glorious internet. Winning doesn't mean a shiny trophy. Winning doesn't mean standing in front of a bunch of people and knowing you did better. Because that's not winning. That's getting a trophy and getting glory for it. Winning is standing next to your best friends in the entire world, the people you have known for 3 or 4 years that have become your family, and knowing that you did a phenomenal job at something you all enjoy. Winning is looking at one of your best friends in the world and screaming as loud as you can for the robot you built in 6 weeks to do well in a competition. Winning is jumping up and down and up and down and up and down when you just barely made it to the next stage of competition. Winning is smiling and hugging when you realize that, yeah, you did it. Because guess what? Even if you don't get that first place trophy, even if you come in last, you still won. Because winning is everything. Winning just isn't a shiny piece of plastic that no one really cares about anyway. Take it from somebody who has a lot of trophies. Our trophy case is overflowing. We actually don't know where to put any of them. And yeah, I'm really proud of the stuff that I've gotten trophies for. But I'm much more proud of the stuff that wasn't ready on presentation day, or the stuff that didn't make it to state, or, most importantly, the stuff that I can't put into a presentation. The feeling that I get when my best friend in the entire world walks through the shop and I know that we're going to create something phenomenal. The way that I can sit at home at 10 o'clock at night, call up said best friend, and even though we spent the entire day texting over robotics ideas, and then stayed after school for 3 hours talking about robotics ideas, we can continue to talk, probably about robotics. Winning isn't a shiny piece of plastic or getting your hands held up by some prestigious college president in front of a bunch of other of your peers. Winning is the family that comes with building the robot and the bonds that you make. And I know it sounds really, really cheesy. I realize that it does, but I'm not lying. Take it as you may. Take it as somebody who's won a lot of things trying to make you feel better, but that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to brag about that. I really don't care how many trophies have my name on them in that trophy case. I can't put into that trophy case what I have done in robotics. I can't put in that trophy case the fact that I wasn't ready on presentation day and I was the happiest I have ever been. I can't put into that trophy case smiles and hugs and moments and memories. Because winning is everything. Winning just ain't a trophy. So, I don't want to end on that really serious note because it looks like I'm really sad. So I'm going to end on this note. I'm going to try to do these more often, not like every 2 years. So, You should give me ideas about things to talk about in the comments below. And, yeah, that's that. Have a fantastic robotics season. I'm wishing all of you guys the best. You are going to do phenomenal. I cannot wait to hear all about it. And guess what? Whether you get a trophy or not, that doesn't really determine your success.